doubt that she would see him again. John Cyrus Bellman was a tall, broad, red-haired man of 35, with big hands and feet and a thick russet beard, who made a living breeding mules. He was educated up to a point. He could write, though he spelled badly. He could read slowly but quite well, and had taught Bess to do the same. He knew a little about the stars, which would help when it came to locating himself in the world at any given moment. And should that knowledge ever prove too scanty or deficient, he had recently purchased a small, but, he hoped, reliable compass, which he showed to Bess before he left, a smooth, plum-sized instrument in a polished ebony case, which, when the time came, he promised, would point him, with its quivering blue needle, home. A week ago he had ridden out to his sister Julie's and stood on her clean scrubbed floor, shifting his weight from one large foot to the other, while she plucked a hen at the table. "Julie, I am going away," he'd said in as bold and clear a voice as he could muster. "I would appreciate it if you'd mind Bess a little while." Julie was silent while Bellman reached inside his coat and took from his shirt pocket the folded newspaper cutting, smoothed it out, and read it aloud, explaining to his sister what it was he intended to do. Julie stared at him a moment, and then flipped the hen onto its back and resumed her plucking, as if the only sensible thing now was to pretend her big red-haired brother hadn't spoken. Bellman said he'd try to be back in a year. "A year!" Julie's voice high and strangulated, as if something had gone down the wrong way and was choking her. Bellman looked at his boots. "Well, possibly a small fraction more than a year, but not more than 2. And you and Bess will have the house and the livestock, and I will leave the clock and Elsie's gold ring for you if you ever get into any sort of difficulty and need money. And Elmer will lend a hand with any heavy work, I'm sure, if you give him a cup of coffee and a hot dinner from time to time." Bellman took a breath. "Oh, Julie, please, help me out here. It's a long way, and the journey will be slow and difficult." Julie started on another hen. A blizzard of bronze and white feathers rose in a whirling cloud between them. Bellman sneezed a number of times, and Julie did not say, "God bless you, Cy." "Please, Julie, I'm begging you." "No." It was a lunatic adventure, she said. He should do something sensible with his time, like going to church or finding himself a new wife. Bellman said thank you, but he had no interest in either of those suggestions. The night before his departure, Bellman sat at the square pine table in his small, self-built house, drinking coffee with his neighbor and sometime yard hand, Elmer Jackson. At 10 o'clock, Julie arrived with her Bible and her umbrella and the small black traveling bag that had once accompanied her and Bellman's wife Elsie across the Atlantic Ocean all the way from England. Bellman was not yet entirely packed, but he was already dressed and ready to go in his brown wool coat and a leather satchel across his front on a long buckled strap. A new black stovepipe hat sat ready on the table next to his big clasped hands. "Thank you for coming, Julie," he said. "I am very grateful." Julie sniffed. "I see you still intend to go?" "I do, yes." "And where is your poor, soon-to-be orphaned little girl?" Bess, said Bellman, was asleep in her bed over there in the corner behind the curtain. He asked Julie if she would like coffee, and Julie said she supposed she could drink a cup. "I was just telling Elmer here, Julie, about the route I plan to take." Julie said she wasn't interested in his route. Julie said, why did men always think it was interesting to discuss directions and the best way to get from A to B? She leaned her umbrella against the wall, laid her Bible on the table, and sat down in front of her coffee. took a stocking out of her black traveling bag.